Hi all. Today's video is part of our Medicare bootcamp series, where we are trying to help insurance agents in having six-figure or more, in open enrollment. If you missed the earlier session, then I suggest you check it out. I left the link in below. So today we are going to discuss first how to create a Medicare marketing plan. Then how do you generate Medicare leads or obtain customers organically, basically free of cost? And finally, how do you implement this Medicare marketing plan? So make sure you stay till the end so that you don't miss any of the details which will be shared by our guest. Today's guest is Larry, and he has thrown a lot of value bombs, and you'll definitely value from this video. Um, Again, quickly introducing myself, I'm Avdesh Saxena. I'm author of book Friendly Agent, where I've compiled learning from a lot of top insurance agents across, and this book has helped um, others in scaling up their insurance agency.
All right, great. Well, hey, I appreciate you having me on, Abdash. I'm happy to share my experiences, what's worked, what hasn't worked, and so I'm just today we're going to talk. Last week we talked about why the Medicare business, the potential for renewals, the opportunity that is out there for Medicare. So today, we always talk in our business about learning about product, and you got to understand this and that. And I take a little bit of a different vision of that. My vision is we need to learn how to market. How do you market Medicare? I know agents that know Medicare in and out. They know every little detail, every little rule, every little thing, but they don't know how to market. So today I just want to focus on marketing. Medicare. So the agenda today is building your marketing plan. We're going to go over traditional marketing. We're going to talk about grassroots marketing at the community level, at your community level, and then implementation of the plan you build for yourself. So we're just going to go over through some ideas. This is not exclusive. There's way more other ideas out there. I'm just hitting on some examples. You can get creative. There's many opportunities out there. So again, my name is Larry Booksh. I own the Independent Life Agency, helping agents and clients soar to new heights. So building a Medicare marketing plan. So let's talk about building your customized marketing plan. First, identify, how do we do that? Let's identify your past marketing successes, your experiences, things that have worked, things that haven't worked for you. So if you've done any other type of sales, if you've done other type of insurance products, what got you to the success level you wanted to be at? What was working, what wasn't working? Then can you use the same marketing process with marketing Medicare? Can you do the same exact thing? A good example, though, is, for instance, if you were going door to door, selling some other product, even if it was life insurance or something else, unfortunately, you can't do that in Medicare. It's non-compliant to knock on doors and talk about Medicare. So obviously, if that's what you were doing, you would have to figure out something else. But again, is it possible? Is it compliant to do what you were doing? Because if you're comfortable with a certain process of marketing, and I'm not talking about product, I'm just marketing, getting in front of people, then that's going to give you confidence going into at least getting your first appointment. So I'm real big on not putting yourself too far outside the box or outside your comfort level, your box, I should say. Then some questions like, okay, what is your marketing plan? Does it require you to have a budget? Is it simple? Is it repeatable? Is it flexible? So if it's working, great. If it's not working, are you able to make little tweaks, or do you have to start over? So those are some important important things that I've kind of learned to adapt. All right. All right. So now we're going to talk about traditional marketing. We're going to break up the different types of two of the different types of marketing. Again, it's not exclusive. There's way more things out there, but let's talk about traditional marketing. When you get into the insurance company, there's usually a couple ways people tell you, your managers, whoever tells you to market. One, especially if you do things like final expense or P&C, it's typically going to be direct mail, BRC, business reply cards, maybe some Facebook ads, maybe some leads you buy from a company. Maybe you don't do the Facebook ad yourself. Maybe you buy from a company. Internet leads. There's all these are just some of the, and then obviously the call on family and friends. I bring things on like that because for some people who are very successful, they've never done any of these. Some people have been very successful with these type of models, but let's identify what this is. This is, you spend some money and then you work the leads and then you figure out a return on investment. So let's use an example of what I'm talking about here with return on investment. Okay, so you run a 2,000 piece mail drop every month. The cost typically is about $500 per 1,000 pieces. So at 2,000 piece, we're going to be spending probably about $1,000 a month. Let's just use an example. You receive a 1.5% return. That's 15 leads per every 1,000. So that gives you 30 leads. So your lead cost is $33.33 per lead. If you set 15 appointments and from 30 leads, then you have 50% appointment ratio. So you got 30 leads, you call 30, some you don't get a hold of, some you do, but you get a hold of 15. So 50% of your leads you can set an appointment with. And again, there are some factors in how many. Sometimes it's skill level. How skilled are you at setting appointments sometimes? But I'm just overall picture here, giving a scope of how to take a look at return on investment. So you get 15 leads. You set 12 appointments. You got 12 of your 15 stick. They show up. 5 or 2 to 3 to 5. You cancel or porch, or however you want to do it. Obviously, when I started this presentation, I was going to do 10 apps, and I changed it to 12. So really, 3 canceled or porch you, as we say in the industry. So if 12 stick, you got an 80% ratio of actual appointments that held. And out of those 12, let's say you sell 7 policies. We're just going to use an average renewal commission on Medicare since we're talking about Medicare here. And so we're using 7, 300, that's $2,100. Again, this, and just so everyone knows, this is just an overall view. There are some factors of how we get paid sometimes, and you may not get the full 300 in year and right in the same month and stuff, but this is just for application purposes, illustration purposes. So there's obviously, you can, if you've been in the industry, you can say, well, it doesn't really work like that. If you write someone and, this month you're only going to get 175 but just follow me with the illustration aspect. So you sell 7 policies out of those 15 appointments. We come with an average $2,100 of commission. So you can take a look at this. Your return on investment is a little bit over 100% because you paid 1,000 and you made 21. So you doubled your money. But then if we take a step back, you would have to spend $12,000 to make $25,000. Now, most people probably couldn't survive or live on that because your profit was only $12,000. But again, if this is not the only thing you're doing, this could be a very viable way to go. But let's step back. What if you only sell 5 policies instead of 7? Now you made 1,500 and you spent 1,000. Now your return's only 50%. So you basically spent 1,000 to make 1,500. So really, it's not even 50%, because you didn't really do that well. I mean, just to map this out even further, it's not really sustainable. You'd have to spend $12,000 a year to make 18. Now, nobody gets into the insurance business to spend 12 and to make 18. Now, I'm using this example because this example is real to me, because when I first got into business, this is exactly my first year in the business of final expense. I spent 12 grand and I made 18. Obviously, I was new, inexperienced, didn't know what I was doing, didn't have good mentors. But that's why I use direct mail in this specific example. So when you're looking at your return on investment, you also want to look at things like, what is your retention rate? So what if you know, in the example we used having 7 sales. That would be 7 sales a month. That's 84 sales. Or how many of those did we return? If we only used the 5 new clients a month and we got an 80% retention, then look at the renewal. So we went from making a certain amount to a lesser amount because we lost policies. And so in order to continue this pace, think it through. So the whole idea of all of this is, okay, we got 5 policies a month. That gives you an additional $6,000 after expenses for the year. So in year 2, instead of you got the 80% renewal, which is 14,500 plus 6,000. So in year 2, you're at 20,500. So you spent a lot of money in 2 years, $24,000 in 2 years. And you basically made 48,000. I would say, I mean, it's probably not worth staying in the business or doing the business if that is the numbers you're hitting. But the point of this is think this through. Like, don't just get trapped into, oh, I got this new insurance gig and I'm going to get some leads and now I'm going to make all this money. Figure out how much you're actually going to make. Is there a way for you to make more than that? Can you get better on your close ratio? Things like, is it possible? And then, is it worth it? Is this something that I want to spend my money and my time chasing leads and doing all this? And again, there's no right or wrong answer. I know a lot of people. I know people that spend 40, 50,000 a year in leads and make 150. So there's no right or wrong answer. It's just, when you create your plan, what is something that's simple and repeatable for you? What is a process you can do that you can continue week in, week out, day in, day out, year in, year out, and see the growth in your business? So second type of marketing, and this is something that I fell into on my own. So I followed this traditional route of, hey, buy leads. This is what you're supposed to do. And I saw that it was very hard for me to cash flow my leads, make money, and then pay my bills to keep a roof under my family's head. So I was in the middle of AEP about 5 years ago. I spent $4,000 on direct mail leads for Medicare, and I think I got, if I'm thinking right, it's somewhere around 50 leads came back from spending that kind of money. I was expecting way more. So in the middle of AEP, I don't even have anyone to talk to because I'm new in the business. It's like my third, I think it might be my first full-time year that I was really saying I'm committing to Medicare. and I'm out of leads in like November 5th or something. And so I got from November 5th to December 7th to figure out how am I going to market during the busiest time of Medicare when the most people switch plans. And I was kind of desperate, to be 100% honest. I didn't know what I was going to do. And I had heard from some other agents. I heard from a broker manager. It's like, hey, you should just go to food banks. Never been to a food bank. Didn't know what to expect. So I went one day just not going to food banks saying, hey, can I put up a table to be a resource to help you guys, help your clients? That's all I said. And they said, sure, bring your table. So I had a table, put a tablecloth on it, put some Tootsie Rolls, and basically had a sign saying understanding Medicare and Medicaid starts here. And I went, this is how quick of a return this was. I went on a Monday to 8 places. 2 of the places said, can you come back this Thursday, or can you come back tomorrow, the following day? And the other one said, hey, can you come next week? I think 5 out of the 8 places I went let me come in, and the other places, nobody was there, so I didn't get to talk to the person who made the decisions. So within a week, I'm in a place, got tables, and I'm writing 3, 4, 5 new clients every time I go to these food banks. And I'm thinking to myself, why didn't I do this earlier? I mean, it's because no one told me. So that's why food banks is there. So some of this stuff is just personal experience. It's not something I just made up to do this. This is real experience, just like direct mail was. This is my real experience. So there's some other opportunities for organic grassroots marketing. This is really diving into the community, being involved, being looked at as the resource for your community in Medicare. You have a Medicare or Medicaid question, you got to call Larry, you got to call whoever it is who becomes that trusted resource. So we got provider and dentist referrals. So I'm not going to go too deep in all this because this is just an overview, but I'll give you an example. When I first started, some of these Medicare Advantage plans, they have dental benefits. And I would look up a dentist in the plan I put the person in, and they would call the dentist, and the dentist would tell them, we're not in that, we don't take that, we're not network. And then they call me and say, what's going on here? Why? I thought you said this, you sold me on this plan. You said my dentist was a network. They're telling me they don't. So I'm like, oh, maybe something's wrong with the portal. Maybe it's not updated. That's my first thought. Then I said, well, hold on a second. What did you tell them? And it's like, oh, I just told them I had Medicare and an HMO plan. And I said, oh, okay. I said, just give me your dentist's name. Let me call and find out what's going on. So long story short is a lot of the plans use a separate dental network. So for instance, I'll give an example. Anthem uses a company called Liberty Dental. Well, if you call and say, hey, do you guys take Liberty Dental? They say yes. But if you call and say, do you take Anthem, HMO, Medicare, HMO, they say no. So I said, I just started going out to dentists and saying, you know what? There's been a lot of confusion. I keep sending people to you, and you keep telling them they're not on network. And I said, by the way, do you know that plan pays $2,000 to you before the client even has to pay? Don't you think we should figure this out, how to bill it right, so that A, you can take care of clients, and B, you can grow your revenue? And like, absolutely. So I go talk to a few dentists, and all of a sudden, just by educating them on how they need to answer the phone and how they need to bill the dental, my phone started ringing. Hey, Dr. Dennis Smith told me that you can help me get better dental benefits. Can you meet with me? And I'm like, man, this is great. I just need to go get some more dentists now, because if I can go get enough dentists that are referring 1 or 2 people every month, like I'm really writing a decent amount of business. So that's an example of a dentist. It's not going to the dentist and saying, "Hey, can you give me referrals?" It's going to the dentist and saying, "Hey, I'm going to help you grow your revenue, and I need somebody I can refer my clients to," because the number one reason most people pick their Medicare Advantage plan is because of the dentist, because of the dental benefit, not even the dentist, the dental benefit. So these are just examples of if someone is committed to working with dentists, that they continually talk to dentists on a regular basis to build their network of dentists that says, "Hey, we got problems. We got a client that has Medicare, and they come in, they need $3,000 worth of work, and the person has no coverage." They'll be open to listening to us to tell them who to call if that person can give them that $3,000 benefit through a Medicare plan. And again, they're calling you. You're not even chasing anyone. All you're doing is building rapport with the dentist. The same thing, there's some doctor's offices that only take Medicare plans. You can go and build a network of financial advisors. Most financial advisors do not want to touch Medicare. So you could offer to educate their clients on doing Medicare 101s for their clients and make a deal with them. You're not going to touch any of the financial stuff. You're only going to handle Medicare. P&C agents, life only agents. There's a lot of people that only want to do life. A lot of people are afraid to do Medicare because of all the certifications and things like that. Medicare 101s at restaurants, senior centers. You can go put a table out there, community fairs and events. These are like grassroots marketing. The benefit is it's low investment required money-wise. It can be a quick potential return on investment. The dentist is not going to be as quick as the food banks, most likely, because you got to build a trust a lot more with them. But as a whole, these are low investment. Just take some time to build these relationships and to be a resource. I mean, our agency, we actually have folders that have why a dentist, why a provider, a doctor's office should work with us, what value we bring. Can spend a day dropping those off to different places, things like that. So this is more becoming the trusted resource in your community. And it doesn't have to be your community. You can find a community that you can begin showing up, and then you find one or two seniors there that love you and start telling everyone about you. It's going to be a big difference. So again, we talked about traditional marketing, we talked about organic grassroots marketing, and I'm going to just use an example for revenue. Again, return on investment. Because that's a really big deal. We're business owners. When you're in insurance business, you are a business owner. You have to think like a business owner. I shared some of my experiences early about buying leads and then doing grassroots marketing. I will tell you, my business, a good friend of mine told me a number of years ago, and he said, "Larry," goes, "you're not going to be successful in the insurance business until you start thinking like a business owner." And I didn't really totally understand what he meant. So I asked him a little more, and he's like, "Well, first of all, if you had employees, you would be paying your employees. So pay yourself first. Start making decisions of how to grow your business. Don't be satisfied that, hey, you grossed $4,000, but you only, so it looks like you're growing, but look, you spent $2,500. You're not really growing like you think you are." So again, start thinking like a business owner when you create your marketing, because this is you. Nobody else is doing it for you. So an example with dentists: pull a list of dentists in the network, dental networks of the plans you represent or you write the most of. So they already take the plan. You know what the benefits are. So you go to those offices and you just say, "Hey, I want to refer people to you, and I want to help you grow I want to help you grow your revenue. Once you give them what they're looking for, they'll give you what you're looking for, referrals. And you're helping them and you're helping them and they're helping you. And again, you're a resource. Again, you're not a sales rep. You're not, hey, you got to talk to my sales guy. He's going to hook you up. It's more like, hey, talk to Larry. He's going to help you get that additional benefit you need so you can get all that dental work needed done that you need. One of my clients gave my card to his dentist and I didn't know it. And this will happen last year. And I started getting phone calls from and the people calling me didn't even know which dentist gave my name to him. And when I was doing a review with the client, he told me that he gave my card out, and then it made sense, and I realized where the referrals were coming from. So, but find 8 to 12 dentists that you can refer to, and they can refer to you. And think about it: if 8 to 12, 8 to 10 give you one per month, and you're writing 8 to 10 apps, new clients each month, first of all, those people aren't changing plans with some other agent because your dentist referred them to you. And again, focus on what do you give to, how can you help the dentist? Don't go in saying, how can the dentist help you? Because if you go in that way, you'll never hear from them again. But you go in, how can I help you grow your business? You're talking to some clients in the area, call them up and refer. Now, everything I said is dentist, and I do want to say one thing. You're not going to talk to the dentist. You're going to talk to the office manager. You're going to talk to the billing person who handles the billing. The dentist is not going to have any real idea of some of these things, but the person who does the billing for that dental practice is. So just a clarification, you're not going in, asking to talk to the dentist while he's cleaning someone's teeth or something. You're going in, you're saying, hey, I'm looking for the office manager who's in charge of billing and taking referrals. And of course, they're going to give you that person, and that's who you want to talk to. Again, so let's use that one example, one new client per month per dentist. That's 10 new clients per month. That's $3,100. In the course of a year, you have 120 new clients and estimated annual income of $37,200. Your retention is going to be higher. When it's usually higher when it's referred to versus doing like a cold marketing or direct mail or something like that. Just as a rule, man, some people are better at building that rapport and staying connected to their client, but as a rule of thumb. So if you think about that, we talked last week about the potential on Medicare to hit 6-figure residual income. If you're doing 120 new clients a year, you're in 3 years' time, you're gonna exceed what it takes to have 6-figure residual income. Just 120 a month, 20 a year. And if you're really working it, I have an agent I was meeting with today. They're doing 120 to 150 apps just doing AEP. So that's just a small time. If you just do this systematically and not do that kind of crazy numbers, but you just do 10 new ones a month, you're going to hit your residual income. And that's much more attainable to just say, hey, I gotta keep doing my marketing until I'm hitting my goal of 10, or maybe your goal is 20. So what else can I do to increase what my income is based on that? So again, return on investment on something like this, you're making $37,000 roughly in your first year. Maybe you spent $1,000 in marketing. Maybe you made some flyers that 50 flyers to hand out at dentist's office. Maybe you brought in some donuts, or maybe you brought in some food. So very minimal of what you spent and what you're doing income wise. Now, am I saying this is going to work perfectly like this year one? Probably not, especially if you're not 100% familiar. I mean, if you're working with someone who can train you on that, yeah, you got a chance to do that. So now let's just, we're going to wrap this up and talk about marketing plan implementation. So again, I'm not trying to sway anyone to say, hey, you should only do grassroots, only do traditional. I'm a big fan of, like, early on, you figure out how you can get sales, how you can get your, I always like to tell my agents, get your first sale as quickly as possible. Get used to what does it feel like to get a sale, get a commission. You decide what's best for you, but maybe it's a combination of both. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's all grassroots. Maybe it's all traditional. Maybe you've done mailers and you just love the volume of, hey, if I know if I talk to 100 people, I will sell this many, and I'm fine with continually going through the numbers like that. So again, make it something you're comfortable with. If I have one of my agents and I tell them to do something that I'm very comfortable with, but they're not going to go do it. It's because it's foreign to them. Again, if you're not really interested in working with dental practices, then you choose something different, and then you find out what else may work. If you can't afford to spend $1,000, $2,000 a month, then don't do direct mail, because it is costly. Now, 1.5% is kind of average nationwide. Some areas get better, some do worse. So again, you should be able to have a good idea, whoever you're working with in the mailer. If you're working with an IMO, they should be able to tell you the exact numbers, what the area you want to drop has been getting over the last 3 to 6 months. Make your marketing plan a simple process. I will contact 5 dentists a day for 30 days. I will hold 2 Medicare one-on-ones a month. I will locate 8 to 10 food banks that I can set up a table monthly, and then kind of monitor those. Like, food banks kind of dry up. You can go in a food bank and stay there for 4 months and write, 40, 50 apps. And then all of a sudden you're like, hey, I'm seeing the same people. I've already made most of these people my clients. Well, maybe instead of coming weekly, I'm just going to come once a month now, and I got to find another place to get into. Keep track of it. Keep track of, hey, where am I spending my time? And what's working, what's not. Monitor and make appropriate adjustments. Maybe no one's coming to your table at the food bank because you don't have anything attractive on your table to even bring them up to your table. I kept it simple. I Tootsie Rolls, bunch of Tootsie Rolls laying loose on my table, and everybody comes up and then they feel obligated to say, hey, what are you doing? And now they started that conversation, and you have an opportunity to see if they need your assistance. Medicare marketing plan, like I said, make it affordable to your budget. A lot of times, I remember when I first started in the business, I had this captive company wanted me to be a manager, and they were recruiting people to me. And they basically would say, oh yeah, you're a good fit. You're going to meet with Larry. And I remember meeting with a couple people, and these people are like in a pretty tough financial situation. And they're telling me the recruiter told them they could make like $7,000 in the next 4 weeks, and they had no experience. And I'm like, I'm a realist. I'm like, I don't think that's possible. And I would hate to see you invest money and leads and with the idea of making that kind of money, because I don't even think it's possible, even if you're really good, because I don't think you'd have enough time to go through that many leads. It wasn't affordable, practical for this person, and I basically was upfront with. He goes, hey, I appreciate your honesty. I did have this other job that was going to pay me a salary that at least I could pay my bills. So is it affordable to your budget? And understand how you get paid if you take on some role somewhere else. If they say, "Oh, you're gonna make 10 grand," like, okay, how much do I got to spend to make 10 grand? Oh, you got to make four. Okay, so if I spend four, when am I going to get paid that 10 grand? Oh, probably in the third month. Well, so you're saying I got to pay 8 grand before I see 10 grand. When my my bank account can't do that. I can't cash flow that. So, and look at the whole plan. Ask a lot of questions. In any plan you're making yourself, ask yourself the same questions. Make it simple. It's all about simplicity. Is it simple? Is it a process I can continue to do? Is it repeatable? Can I do this over and over again? Because is it flexible and is it measurable? Because a lot of people have some success early on in the insurance business, but they don't have a marketing plan that is repeatable. Either they don't have the money to continue to invest, or they just they can't what got them the sales that this the first couple months cannot they can't duplicate that. They can't, for one reason or another. It's just not repeatable. Um, and just direct mail is not flexible. You got to pay out money, and if you're not hitting your numbers, you're kind of out of business, because now you can't afford to do the next mail drop or to spend the next marketing dollars. And then again, does the return on investment make sense? That's the key, because you got to keep in mind, if you're a business owner, you got the business side, but what are you making out of it? What are your monthly bills? Does that make sense? I mean, you don't want to gamble your family's mortgage if like, hey, I'm just going to put the leads on my credit card because I'm going to make this. You've really got to follow it through and really ask those questions. Is this the right plan? Now, on top of all this, a lot of FMOs will give you some assistance, will help you with that. So when you choose to work with someone, can someone help you and co-op that? Can you earn some marketing money and allowances and things like that? Again, I love this quote by Walt Disney: "The way to get started is to quit talking and to begin doing." You know, figure it out on paper, try it out and start doing it, make tweaks, make adjustments. A lot of times in the business, everyone wants to get everything organized. They want to have the right computer and they never get started. So I'm a big fan of get started, figure out the details while you're going, get into a home, do an appointment, have someone who can mentor you, and just get the ball rolling, trying to set your goals and just go.
I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you have any questions or you want to share something, then please leave comments below. And don't forget to hit subscribe and like this channel so that you don't miss any subsequent videos. Thank you.